Oh, yeah, Audrey Winter. I mean, Legend 3 brings back nostalgic memories of family road trips. Same with Link's Awakening. In that game, I never really understood the evolution system, so I just played through the whole game with humans and mutants. Oh, nice, Grimora. Yeah, World 4 is... creepy. Oh, interesting, Hughes. Yeah, I didn't even know until like a couple years ago, too, that these games actually got re-releases. Legend 3 is, I've said a few times, by far the most kind of friendly of the FFL games for blind play. Since in that you don't really need to ever understand the evolution systems, because it has actual experience levels. If you just grind enough, you'll be able to get through the bosses and dungeons. I mean, if you do understand it, that certainly helps, because, like, if you actually understand how that the blitz skill can nerf bosses, that they're slower than your healer consistently, that's pretty handy. The iceberg. Yeah, I mean, what I'd want to look into is if there is a kind of a more consistent way to get the slime, or what strategies I can use to just have a dead weight second monster for mid-game. That's really what it's about. I mean, I can beat Genbu without the slime. It'll just take like an extra turn or so. Main problem is after that, what exactly to do. Well, I don't know, is the thing. Not quite super familiar with what a lot of the monsters actually do. Something I could look into, I guess. But I mean, the Japanese record holder Baku Zero does have a guide for this run on his website, and which is what I used a Google translation of as part of the 12-hour challenge. And I do kind of remember that his guide did basically suggest alternate strategies to use if you don't have the slime. rather than a different route. I mean, another option too could be to what? Okay. To save, but somehow hit the sequence. And got a Red Bull. Totally planned. Totally planned. All right. Yeah. You go to culinary class instead of math class and stuff. Different spot. Kill. Fine, actually, it's one of the monsters I need killed off before getting to the second world's town. Yeah, we'll call that RNG Manip. Actually, RNG Manip. Barring some bad encounters, we're gonna get out of here before minutes at least. Another Red Bull. Wants revenge, apparently. Getting out of this castle is going to be difficult. The Sorrow, it's, by my estimation, maybe like 4 or 5 minutes faster. Why do I prefer this one? Just because the boss fights are more interesting than just one-shotting them with the saw. It's not a huge difference because I'm just cheesing them with different kinds of attacks. But a big part of it too is actually getting to hear a full loop of the final boss's theme too. Should have equipped the King's Sword there because of the being dead. Genbu will kill the human now that he's dead weight, and have to deal with killing him off in the tower climb. The Final Fantasy legend. Hey, Daniel. I actually should have put the human in the front. I think the targeting. I figured the target based on the route notes, the targeting has got to be weighted by position. Right, nice. Hopefully that'll be start getting sub 10 Genbu once I actually kind of know what I'm doing with it's the meat route for this world. Should be open. I should be using the sphere on the overworld instead of actually in the town to skip that text box. Yeah, so yeah, I guess that would explain why the backup to no Red Bull meat is just to use different strategies than to try for battle that don't require it than to have a different meat route. Yeah, I mean, all the music in this game is really good. Game Boy game. Uematsu soundtrack, so kind of hard to go wrong there. Yeah. I don't think Uematsu was the main composer for Legend 2, but decent chunk of the music got reused there, like especially the victory theme and also the title screen theme. Some other remixes too, like the sad theme. Stuff in the right order. Build first. Go to the item shop, weapon shop, and then the way out. Did I not actually recruit the character? Did I select the wrong slot or something? Okay. get a 195 HP character this. Get to buy the X potion. Okay. Don't forget to buy the X potion this time. Yeah, if I wanted to kind of push for a really good time, I'd skip all of that menuing with selling stuff to get the HP potions and just roll with default stats. Just hope that I don't get bad luck on, say, Ryu. Fine, I'm fine with spending like, what, minutes or so. Oops. Have some safety. But if I go that way too, and getting those two characters I just picked up killed off when their time draws nigh, it'll be easy, faster too. Oh wow, I think I kind of vaguely remember that from a Let's Play of this I watched several years ago. In fact, actually, I think it's actually not related to that, but I think one of the no Red Bull meat strategies I'd need to use too would be to get bazookas in the third world instead, just to do more damage than grenades. Make up for not having a second mutant. And I think kind of the end state would be that I'd get the Albatross eventually replaced in World 4 for a second pudding. Second Stone Man, and then farm a second Evil Eye meat so that they can become a pudding. Yeah, I know the Watcher meat is brutal and let do. At least for Sawless, right now, the only real equivalent to that is the Red Bull meat drop, which is much, much earlier than the Watcher is in the Legend 2 speedrun. I think the Watcher is like 2/3 of the way into the game. The record does in certain areas too is if it gets an encounter like the step after saving, it doesn't even try to run away, it just instantly resets. Okay. Ah, I didn't save first. Say I was gonna reset the octopi's position, but that requires actually saving before resetting. Well, the way to make running away reliable is to do the run single segment with full RNG manip for the whole hour. Then you can, because this is one of those older RPGs where just literally everything about battles can be scripted out. The only thing that's really out of your hands in a single segment run with manipulation, these randomly moving guards in some areas. Ah, that is kind of heart-rending. Ah. Sick. Yeah. Legend 2, I think, has some even sillier groups of monsters that are just working together for whatever reason too, like terrorists and single-celled amoebas and stuff like that. Sitting there just to get that octopus out of my way. It's one of the really, really, really nice things about doing an unmanipulated run is being able to just reset to respawn NPCs. Saw that coming after I tried to YOLO getting to the door. I think there's regular encounters in this room. It's good. It's real! Let's not lose 2 minutes on this fight this time. Red Bull gets the meat. Alright, next. Exclamation Sawless for a explanation of what that means. Resets here to speed up this puzzle. It's basically a math puzzle for adding up costs of stuff and then buying the item from the weapon shop that costs the sum. Yeah, it's a grocery shopping list, basically, yeah. Like that, description. I can vaguely see that from the back of this particular sprite. Pressing down to select save, but I didn't actually press start too early that it didn't register. I like the saw from Link to the Past. That would be pretty funny. Not getting greedy enough for a triple. The fact that my main method of dealing with bad luck for the most part is just to save scum it away is a big part of why this isn't going to be a super serious grind. A nice fun little short run of a game with really cool music and routing, but see myself getting quite that enamored with it to try to like grind out a run that's comparable to the Japanese record. If I have any interest in doing FFL too, yes. Not sure when exactly, but I would like to be able to run the full trilogy. You're pretty good. Don't ask questions, just do as you're told. Great supervisor-subordinate relationship there. Ask a silly question. Ideally like to get the saber cat meat there, but it's not a... If I don't, I have to have a different fight. Get this place, which is kind of pointless, because there's no encounters here, no real map navigation to it. Split boss, too strong. We're... Wait, ow. Well, that's a silly way to lose like 30 seconds. Just so distracted by skipping the mosquito split that I just disoriented Vessel. And I made a mosquito split because I need to, just because it's RNG there. If I don't get the mosquito meat, I have to reset, but it's also an awkward place to split because I need to pay attention to if I get the meat or not. To the slime. I mean, with a sprite that small, it's open to interpretation whether those are your ears or your wings, possibly your hat. It's okay, actually. Maybe because I didn't heal. Thought it would be okay healing after that, but apparently my imp can get pretty badly on the single imp fight. Well, not cursor memory out between fights. There's cursor memory in the same fight, but which is nice for pretty much all of the boss fights in the run. Just spamming the same attack over and over again for boss fights. Come on, that's the second time in a row I got an encounter on the tile I was saving, and then an instant run fail. I don't actually know if it's based on your stats or monster level, or if it's just total luck. So if he kills one of the humans, that's okay. That probably would have been a gold if I hadn't gotten lost in Byaku's castle. Combined agility versus combined agility and RNG. I mean, in Legend 3, the run rate, yeah, it's based on relative agility. It wouldn't surprise me if it's actually the same in all three games. Yeah, Legend 3, the run rate is based on relative agility, and the ambush rate is based on relative level. Yeah, for a game released in North America in 1990, there's some stuff in this game that definitely pushes the envelope. Legend 3 is by far the Saga game that I know the most about. Yeah, that's a nice thing I know about Legend 2 for the speedrun, is that you're effectively guaranteed running if you either have a dead character in your party or have no fifth character. Harpies are just not, they must be high agility enough that I'm just not getting away when I reset. Where exactly? Run. 3 floors ahead of myself on the last one. Really greedy, not saving. Counter rate on the overworld is really high in World 4 because of them wanting you to use the subway tunnels to avoid Suzaku. I mean, isn't it just the length of the nasty dungeon is why it's nasty? It's so long compared to the other dungeons in the game. Okay, that's fine. Got one of the grenades off before she died. Even look at how many ants there were at the start of the fight. I must have rolled like 4 or so. Yeah. I know the remake of Saga 3 is probably the one that changes the most about its game. Like, it makes it more like Legend 1 and 2 as far as like taking away the experience levels. I don't know that much about any of the remakes other than that final boss of Saga 2 DS is really hard compared to original Saga 2. Yeah, and I have listened to the soundtracks, and I didn't really care too much for what they did to Saga 3, especially with completely ditching the boss theme and going a different direction. The boss theme in Old Legend 3 is so good. Which is good because of just how ridiculously high the health of the bosses is. That's one thing that's pretty nice about this game by comparison, is that none of the bosses are like huge damage sponges. Even the final boss can be killed in like 5 or 6 turns without the saw. Kill. Okay, good. I wanted. yeah, the fact that you get to fight both versions of Arsenal in Saga 2 DS is pretty rough. Once I'm past this part, now I can only actually get into encounters with Suzaku when I'm in between, or when I'm crossing the street, basically. Time to head off to get some plutonium to produce the 1.21 gigawatts needed to destroy Suzaku's force field. It is possible to manipulate this game, but I'm not doing so. I'm just using save scum manipulations. Pretty much, like, for most of the run, when I'm in any kind of area that has random encounters, I'm just saving the game every, like, 5 to 10 steps. But if I get into a bad fight that I can't run from, rather than take a bunch of damage and risk permadeath, just reset out of it. Yeah, I mean, it certainly helps that saving and resetting are pretty fast in this game. That's something that just baffles me about Legend 3, is that Legends 1 and 2 have soft reset, Legend 3 doesn't. You actually have to reset the whole console to set Legend 3. I don't really understand the nuances of the RNG manip in this game quite as well as I do with, well, actually, I shouldn't say I do with even Legend 3. I don't... And the main way you can manipulate Legend 3 is just via resetting and then buffering inputs so that you can guarantee a specific frame. Pudding! Dirt is served. Well, the first world wouldn't be... It probably wouldn't be that backbreaking to actually route some manipulation. Especially for getting the Red Bull meat drop. Well, my hero being dead here actually doesn't matter. That's actually why I picked up the revive in Akihabara. And revive the hero before starting the final ascent, which I'll hopefully actually get to do, and I won't softlock the game again. Yeah, people that just recently tuned in. The run before this one, I managed to softlock before the final tower ascent, and still have no real idea why. Someone wants to link it, feel free. I mean, what happened was I was somehow able to enter the tower without actually using the 4 spheres, and that somehow put me into a state where I was still going to floor 2 of the tower through the front door instead of the end game, and even going back out and using the orbs fix it. Yeah, both that enemy and Warmech in Final Fantasy 1 are called Death Machine in Japanese. Which is why it's just called Machine here. But it's called War Match, or short for Machine in Legend 2. It's in my heart, it's Warmech. Short for War Machine, although I would assume in Saga 2 it's just called Death Machine. It's the same sprite, only it has a 2 on it, which I find delicious. These giants, I remember being brutal as far as not being able to run from last run. I feel like this tunnel here is a low encounter rate. Let's be getting lucky though. Say as I get another giant. Yeah, this is a really weird dungeon. It's called the Skyscraper here, but it's in Japanese it's Shinjuku Subway Station, which is one of the biggest subway stations in Tokyo, and I'm assuming in the world. I hit half the buttons to reset there after seeing the giant. Oh, in Paris it's bigger than in Tokyo. We've got this room where every tile is a fake staircase. I think they look more like cell phone reception meters. Actually getting to the aforementioned subway. Oh, this is inferior to the zombie subway in Secret of Mana. Because the zombie subway has dancing zombies. No idea what's going on. That makes a lot of us. We're blitzing through a really short and wacky Game Boy RPG. I did get the Erase 99. But that getting the Erase 99, I believe, is the trigger to both make Suzaku disappear from the overworld and then the music too. If I was using a no Red Bull meat route and was gonna get a second pudding, I would actually use that Esper girl sitting on the bench as a way to get it, since if you talk to her, you actually fight an evil eye. Gained 5 seconds. Yes, you can use Saw to kill Overworld Suzaku, which you might expect doesn't actually do anything to the storyline. I believe the single segment route with Saw does that at least once. I think it's faster to kill Suzaku than to a couple cases. The dragons in this game, instead of having colors like most RPGs have numbers, like that was a Dragon 4, I think Dragon 5 is the strongest in the game. Got a pretty substantial time save here, thanks to actually staying at the inn in Amayoko. My PB, I didn't actually have enough melt charges to beat Ashura and had to get lucky with Chimera staying alive long enough to get some damage. I haven't. I should either do that or rewatch a Let's Play or something, just to remember what's in the optional floors. And not important, not at all. Yeah, I mean, I can get a sub 110 just from not getting, finishing a run where I don't get lost or make mistakes or anything. I mean, like, I think an equivalent time to the Japanese record would probably be like a 58 or a 59 for Sawless. So the goal here is for everybody except my pudding to die. Have a good night, Iceberg. Alright, let's remember to actually use the crystal this time so I don't softlock again. In fact, I'm not actually going to save until after I'm sure I'm in the correct version of the tower. Alright, so... Did it happen again? What's going on here? As far as I know, there are no story triggers to actually be able to access the endgame other than to, orbs. Okay, I'll try examining the door before using the orbs this time, but... Yeah, I mean, something wrong with this door for all of a sudden, or I can't actually... Or the orbs just don't matter. There isn't, like, something wrong with my cart. Same card I, that I was for. Maybe I have to actually talk to the creator at some point in order to actually get the game to advance the story. That was something actually that the record did that I didn't really understand the purpose of. Although it wasn't there, it was after World 2. It talked to the creator in the tower for no discernible reason. Yeah, there we go. Now the door is actually locked. So I wonder if that's actually what it is, that never actually talking to the creator somehow just messes up the story triggers and makes it so that the end game won't actually load properly. Okay, well, that's really, really annoying, because that's probably a good 5-6 minutes or whatever that I just lost, but at least I understand now. I'm like 95% sure that that's what's going on, though. That yeah, if you never actually talk to the creator at any point during the game, then you can't actually start the end game. The point that the record did it was right after leaving World 2, because the creator is standing right next to the door. World 2. It's like doing it before Ashura works as well. I guess I'll just have to look at which of those conversations is shorter. One before Ashura is pretty quick, it's just one text box. So now I want to, so I don't waste melt charges. Bother is a paralyze attack, I think. The reason I'm doing it is both because the animation's faster than melt, and because if I use too many melt charges or forget to stay at an end or something, then I'm actually not going to be able to beat the creator. Which is a big reason why using Petrify on the 3 of the 4 Fiend refights is nice, because not only is it a fast fight, but it also means I don't have to use up any melt charges. It's because that when once you've beaten Ashura and you go to the end game version of the base town, all of the shops get updated to be the best shops in the game, among the best shops in the game. Might be secret stuff that's better. So I swapped out two of my party for gummies, which are kind of slightly weaker puddings, but much faster to acquire and are still good enough for my purposes. Like, this is something that Baku Zero changed up in his route between this and his previous record, was getting a Chimera for the second half of World 4 and swapping it out for a gummy instead of getting multiple puddings via farming extra Evil Eye meat on the subway. Definitely faster, and it isn't really much like harder or riskier either. It's got less RNG because you don't have to farm as much meat. The only thing I've kind of noticed from having gummies instead of puddings is that the run rate, I think your run success rate, I think, is a bit lower. Well, the guide that I used for this is in Japanese. It's on Baku Zero's website. Find it. I can grab a link to that after I'm done. It's used Google Translate with kind of combining that with stuff I already knew about the game. English version saw runs. I'll have to look at it again. I mean, I've been meaning to reread parts of it to see what strategies he recommends for if you don't get the slime in World 1 via the Red Bull meat. So the guide does, because it is a pretty thorough guide as far as just telling you some like gotchas and stuff. Like, it did specifically say to not stand directly in front of Ashura because there's a pitfall there. No, I mean, you can, if you want to do some runs of this, you can just do what I do. Basically, it's a fairly simple route. You just need to know which meat drops you need and where to go in the maps. Because the boss fights are all really straightforward, and then you deal with encounters via save scumming. Yeah, what Vegas said. Okay, my first completed run was a 132. This run could have potentially been like probably not a sub 110, but maybe like a 111, 112 or so if I hadn't struggled to actually get into the final. I love this screen, by the way, where you're ascending to paradise. Right. This will be it should be a PB, albeit a pretty salty one. Metagaming going on now. Beating a game by beating a game. I love how the creator has an attack called Repent, too, given that his Japanese name is Kami, or God. Yeah, Saw works on the creator, a Saw run. I mean, a Saw run uses Saw to insta-kill every boss in the game, starting with Seiryu. I mean, I like to kind of compare this to No Slots FF7, where it's not really that different of a run, you're just using different cheese strats for bosses. Your next to be the last turn. Nice. Plus 502. Well, at least that won't happen again. The very definition of a salty PB, but I'll take it. Goes to show just how free sub 110 really is, too. The GG's, everybody. So yeah, it would have been, I mean, it should have been like a 112 some kind. Pulling up the translation to, yeah, it says talk to the fifth floor god is the directions for that part. At least in the Japanese version, that must be the fastest conversation with him. See how if that's the same on English. Yeah, it does sound kind of like the Maiden of Water theme from FF3. I mean, it's the same composer, Nobuo Uematsu. See you again. Oh, even in the Japanese version, that still says "see you again" in katakana.